My name is Shyam Rele. I'm a CMC product development and regulatory expert at the NI Small Business Education and Entrepreneurial Development, also known as the SEED office. I'll be presenting today on Pharmaceutical Quality Management System, or QMS as it is known, with emphasis on biological drug products. Provide a high-level framework regarding the FDA requirements and expectations. To provide a general overview, a pharmaceutical quality management system is the core of any quality and compliance process. It is a regulatory requirement that the FDA and other regulatory bodies consider critical. QMS is a set of procedures and practices that ultimately contributes to the product quality. It focuses on individual processes and personnel involved in product manufacturing and prevents deviation from quality standards. It ensures that the manufacturing process can be controlled and can consistently produce a high quality product that meets the acceptance criteria or release specifications, thereby minimizing the product risk and is ultimately safe. In case of biological product, remember the paradigm, the process is the product. Unlike the small molecule drugs, which are chemically defined structures, biological drug products such as vaccines, monoclonal antibodies, blood and cell and gene therapy products are structurally complex and heterogeneous products. They are much larger in size and usually produced by complex cell-based manufacturing processes. The product quality attributes and performance can be sensitive to manufacturing process and raw materials used. These are complex formulations whose stability is sensitive to storage conditions. Analytical characterization and testing is significantly involved. It is extended not only to the final formulated product, but also to the starting cellular material. Requires in-process testing during specific operations and requires monitoring of advantageous agents for safety reasons. Unlike small molecule drugs, biological products are defined by potency assays, which is a product critical quality attribute. It demonstrates the ability of the product to induce a biological response in animals and humans. Developers and manufacturers need to assure FDA regarding the manufacturability of the product and its consistent quality, purity, and safety. So what is QMS? A pharmaceutical QMS develops and ensures quality procedures in various product lifecycle stages. It is a formalized system. It connects businesses, policies, procedures, processes, functions, and responsibilities designed to ensure product requirements are met consistently every time as per the needs of the customer and are aligned with the regulatory expectations. Simply put, think of the QMS as a glue that binds all these things together. QMS also extends to individual functions, processes, and personnel involved in the manufacturing process and product testing. For example, as highlighted over here, it is extended to analytical method development and critical quality attributes, formulation development, method development, GMP manufacturing, facilities, utility system, and equipment. Most importantly, documentation of procedures and individual operations. QMS also focuses on consistent process improvements throughout the product development lifecycle. It also ensures that the final product meets the acceptance criteria and the target product profile, quality attributes, as well as regulatory requirements. It also uses monitoring methods such as quality assurance to prevent quality deviation and emphasizes documentation to record all problems and their solutions. The ultimate goal is to maintain control over various processes and deliver a biological drug product of high quality that is safe. There are certain rules and regulations under which QMS operates. They are based on ISO 9001 standards. For example, ISO 9001 2015 is the most recognized and implemented quality management system standard in the world. Good manufacturing practices, or GMP as is known, is a part of the QMS system. It is enforced by the FDA and focuses on all aspects of manufacturing processes and testing and ensures that organizations produce and control products consistently as per quality and safety standards. The ICH consists of many guidelines and are based on established standards. These guidelines have been adopted by regulatory authorities throughout the world. Developers interested in advancing their products should educate and review these guidances, which are available for free online. In addition, Biotech and pharma companies developing biological drug products in the US are regulated under 21 CFR Part 210, 211, and 600. These are FDA guidelines for CGMP compliance for finished pharmaceuticals and biologics. For quality systems, specifically, the FDA has issued multiple guidance documents and which cover a broad range of topics as described over here. Together, all the described regulations and guidelines are foundational to QMS and can help developers understand the regulatory expectations and quality requirements for their products. In addition, ICH Q8, Q9, and Q10 guidelines are interconnected. They provide a structured way to define product critical quality attributes, the quality by design space, managing the risk factors to product quality, the manufacturing process, and the control strategy throughout the product development life cycle. It supports process improvements, process verification, and validation activities. All the three ICH guidelines work in tandem and are important drivers for QMS. The figure here provides a framework of the different interconnected components of QMS in practice. Remember that each component of the QMS helps achieve the final goal, that is minimizing the product risk and producing a high quality drug that is safe and effective, and that is aligned with its intended use. For example, let us look at the individual components highlighted here. Process and production control. It ensures that the manufacturing process parameters, raw materials are suitably controlled, producing a consistent product with defined acceptance criteria or quality. Design control. It usually focuses on quality by design principles and implementing those. Helps in establishing the control strategy. Helps understand the effect of critical process parameters on product quality attributes and managing the development risk. Product surveillance focuses on off-market product complaints, monitoring product performance and safety. Change management is critical to the product life cycle, focuses on organizational and structural changes, and focuses on the effects of these changes. Corrective and preventive action, which is also known as CAPA, is one of the important components of QMS, and it focuses on investigating and understanding root cause analysis in a systematic manner and preventing their recurrence. Resources indicates is the necessary infrastructure, quality personnel or qualified personnel and equipment in place to meet the demands of the development campaign. Finally, the management sets the tone and the direction for QMS. They need to ensure that all the organizational processes and functions are in place and aligned to meet customer needs and product requirements and are compliant with the best practices and FDA regulations. A key component of QMS is the corrective and preventive action, also known as CAPA, as I described earlier. It is a system that identifies the causes of the fault or deviation and prevents them from happening again in the future, thereby assuring of product quality. CAPA investigations usually cover all quality related events. The ultimate goal of CAPAs is to drive process performance, product quality monitoring, and continuous process improvement changes. For innovators who want to select contract manufacturers to develop their products, should carefully review the approach taken by the contract manufacturers to address the root cause related to quality events. As described in the figure, an effective QMS system will have a structured approach to analyze and investigate root cause, will include a formal documentation for such investigations, and implement appropriate changes in a time-dependent manner during the development life cycle, which is in compliance eventually with FDA regulations. As I described earlier, management sets the tone and direction for QMS and its objectives. It is responsible for overseeing, implementing, and setting up the governance structure of an organization's QMS and making sure continuous improvements are consistently implemented in a timely manner. The management ultimately needs to ensure best practices are followed as per regulatory requirements and that all organizational processes and resources are in place. Risk management practices are integrated, harmonized, aligned to meet the customer needs and the product requirements are met and to ensure a successful manufacturing campaign. As explained earlier, QMS extends to product testing. Developing a robust, reproducible assay are crucial for biologics product development, particularly a potency assay. It is critical quality attribute as per ICH 6B guideline. It is linked to product quality and effectiveness. For a characterization, from a characterization point of view, it establishes the mechanism of action. From a CMC point of view, it defines product quality. Its effectiveness is used to measure lot to lot consistency and product stability. It is a key metric for product release and reflects on the process and manufacturing controls to consistently produce the same product. Ultimately, it provides a link to product clinical efficacy and establishment of the dose in animal and human studies. As a part of the IND package, the FDA will assess if phase appropriate qualified and validated assays are used to quantify potency of the product and if it meets the defined acceptance criteria. This figure provides a snapshot of commercialization lifecycle and how FDA expectations and stringency regarding CMC, QC, and quality increases from pre-development research phases to advancing phases of clinical product development. Developers should understand that product development and optimization activities are very dynamic. Throughout the life cycle, its process and methods are evolving. Aligning quality system development with growing level of process understanding, therefore, is crucial. Therefore, phase appropriate implementation of quality management systems can help early developers expedite product development activities and the regulatory pathway. It is also important to highlight that with advancing product development, documentation has to become more formalized. There is a higher emphasis on product quality, process, equipment, and assay validations, safety and efficacy testing. Qualified assays that are suitable in the early phases of development will have to be validated in the later stages of development. Risk management and risk assessment are usually intrinsic features of this development cycle. The ultimate goal is to ensure that the products will meet appropriate safety and quality standards throughout the product's life cycle. So what should early innovators or startups do given the fact that quality management systems are expensive? Also, it is worthwhile to note that for early developers, focus on compliance early on is sometimes overlooked due to unfamiliarity or strict rules. Also, a quality management system that was built for a large company may not necessarily work for a startup to use. It therefore becomes important for early developers that have chosen to develop a QMS to first understand the FDA requirements, understand your needs, what are your operational requirements, what is the risk to product strategy, and then build a QMS system that works for your processes, product, platform, and organization, and which can be scaled up when required. Focus on good documentation and reporting practices that are compliant with FDA regulations is a key requirement and a criteria for setting up a QMS. In regulatory affairs, there is a saying, if it's not documented, it didn't happen. Also, engaging with regulatory CMC and quality experts can help identify your specific needs and the gaps. Instituting digital platforms or software tools can streamline process operations, improve documentation practices, improve quality, and facilitate in building an effective QMS that works for your organization and program. Early developers should remember good quality management means good regulatory compliance. Supporting development activities with phase appropriate QMS can serve as a major value inflection point and build investor confidence. This is a representative example of a product development life cycle for a phase one biological product candidate. As you can see, the span provides a glimpse into various ICH and FDA guidelines applied across the different stages of development and unit operations. Early developers wanting to advance their manufacturing campaigns and develop high quality and safe products into clinic should understand and review these guidances, which will help them in their IND submission process. Finally, how can early developers reduce product and manufacturing risk? For biologics, remember process is the product. By integrating phase appropriate QMS systems, one can establish control processes and parameters. This can mitigate risk to product development pathway and can consistently generate a high quality and safe product across different scales. Engaging quality regulatory experts can help identify the gaps and determine your phase appropriate needs. What should be implemented or what should be ramped up at a later stage. It will give you a general perspective about quality requirements. Improving documentation remains a critical area that early developers should look into. Selection of contract manufacturers is extremely critical. Prior to signing contract, developers should conduct audit and ensure that the core competency of the contract manufacturer is a good fit for the product development campaign. Remember, sponsor innovators submitting the IND is ultimately responsible for ensuring product safety and regulatory compliance, and therefore initiating conversations with the FDA at the right time can help target the effort and resources and facilitate development pathway most effectively. In general, a QMS helps to coordinate activities, directing a startup's organizations to meet customer and regulatory requirements. In a nutshell, an early implemented QMS not only lays a fundamental foundation for your startup, but also improves its effectiveness and efficiency on a continuous basis, contributing to lasting success of your company. Finally, here are some information and resources which can be of value to review. Innovators and early developers should look at these documents as they build their product development platforms. Thank you very much.